Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. Ready? All right, man. How you doing, first of all?
Pretty good so far.
All right, cool. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, and Happy New Year to all you Radical fans and you crazy listeners that have joined Team Lift. We're going to get T-shirts this year. I got an idea. I want a T-shirt that just says, "Do you even Team Lift, bro?" That is the shirt. I want T-shirts that say, "Do you even Team Lift, bro?"
There's a subreddit that's called Slightly Penis.
Okay, where's this going?
Okay, so there was a picture. I was just scrolling down through our all, and this picture came up. It was very highly upvoted. It was of the two little stick figures carrying the box, but instead of having like arms, just right where their crotch was, there was a very long penile prehensile that was coming out that was holding the box up.
Okay. Do you even Team Lift, bro? I think we need shirts. We're making shirts this year. Man, first of all, we got to thank you guys, man. We took a unexpected winter break. Yeah. We actually did not plan to take the month of December off.
Yeah.
But we were off the month of December, and 1 week turned into 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks, and then I went on vacation. And by the time we came back, it was Christmas. And when I came back from Christmas, I was hospitalized because I was freaking dying, and so was Brandon. I had a severe sinus infection, allergies, and a cold, and was blowing blood clots out of my nose, running 103 fever. You weren't much better.
I started a cold. To be honest, I'm gonna put it out there right now. It's all Tommy's fault. I came in Thursday to pick up my charger on the day that I was off, and I ran into Tommy
at
his desk, and I was talking to him. The next day I came in, and Tommy was sick.
I remember seeing that.
So then I go to San Antonio for Christmas that weekend, and when I'm on my way home Sunday, that's when it started for me. It just started with a cold. I came in the next day. I stayed until like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I was just like, peace out. I spent the next 2 days off after that. Got to the doctor, like I was basically like just coming into probably getting a sinus infection, and he was just like, here's fucking antibiotics, just take them.
Yeah, no, okay, you left Monday night.
Yeah.
I kept working till Wednesday. Wednesday night I got home, got into bed, took enough like Alka-Seltzer cold to just try to clear up enough to sleep. Woke up drowning in the middle of the night, couldn't catch my breath. And I was in a sleep apnea machine trying to force air in, and I still couldn't. And so I knew then I got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So Thursday got up, went to the doctor, the VA hospital, and then they said, hey, had you waited a few more days, this would have turned to pneumonia. We would have had to hospitalize you.
Yeah.
So it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked.
To say the least.
But now we're back, and then we come back, and this is our first show of the new year, and we are mystified by some things. First of all, we got to thank you guys, but y'all have messed us up. So we decided to look at our numbers. Today is technically
the 5th.
Yeah, the 5th. So this is the 5th day of the new year, and we're not even sure we haven't done a show since November?
No, since the beginning of, I think there was a show that we put out. It was either on the 28th or it was right after the 1st of December, right before the party. So
we did one show that came out then, but our show has already, like, our downloads are through the roof already. Like, for the month that we didn't do a show, we did no shows at all, but we had more downloads in the month of December, where we were averaging 60, 70 downloads a day for the month of December. And we've already had, no new shows now, this is it. This is the first new show. We've already probably crossed 28, 31. What is it already for the month? 5 days in?
So on just for 2 days ago, on the 3rd, we had 28 downloads.
So thank you, whoever you are, wherever you are, all over the world. We almost can say we're international now. We need just a few more UK listeners, but we're almost international. We got them in Sweden. We got some in Sweden, but we need some more UK listeners. But the international Team Lift movement has started. We're going international this year.
So put it this way, like the most that we've had so far was literally on the 31st of
New Year's
December, New Year's Eve. We had 74 downloads.
So 74 people spent their New Year's Eve with us.
Yep.
Thank you to that 74.
Yep.
You're the reason 2016 didn't suck for us as bad as it could have. Okay. I think it sucked for everybody, but this show made it so much better, man. So we had a plan. We were going to come in tonight. We were going to do our year in review, the 2016 in review show.
Yep.
But a lot of our guest stars are either still sick.
Yeah, or recovering from having to work New Year's.
So we decided, hey, we're going to preempt that show, and we were going to do our show tonight because we did need to come back in the studio, sit back on the sofa. It felt good to come back in. We were going to do a Rogue One special, but then we started realizing during the holidays, a lot of shit happened.
Yeah.
That we saw a lot of movies, not just Rogue One.
Yeah,
So
I watched Die Hard at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so we saw a lot of holiday movies. So we're just gonna do kind of our holiday movie special.
Yep.
And kind of get you guys caught up and tell you what happened. So now, in addition to my being sick, my house flooded, right?
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that, but then it kind of went nebulous after that.
Because I was dying, so the house flooding wasn't as important as me dying. But what happened was we had the hose on the back of the washing machine. Like, my brother was home when it happened. It just basically gave away. And so that water's always on.
Yeah.
And it just shot out and flooded the downstairs.
Yeah.
And so, we're having to get new carpeting in the formal living room, the foyer. All the baseboards around the house are torn off. It popped the wooden floor in the den area.
Jesus.
In the family room. So it's just we're under construction. Casa de McDaniel is under construction right now.
It's like the end of the dumpster fire that was 2016 shit all over your house.
Yeah, it really, the floors in my house look just like 2016. When I look at those baseboards, I say, yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah.
That looks about right. But in the midst of all that hassle and in illness, I did get to see Rogue One.
So did I.
So I think we have two different opinions on how we felt about Rogue One.
No, see, that's the thing is I probably share your opinion. I just have another facet to it.
Okay. So
I really liked the movie. I thought it was great. I didn't have any problems with it when I was watching it. It's okay. The retrospective on that film is where I have issues.
So here's my thing. I'm so scared.
K2SO was amazing.
Okay, before we get into it, turn this off because we're going to get into some stuff. We're not really going to spoil the story for you.
Yeah,
I don't want to go heavy spoilers.
But this is the thing: is you cannot spoil this movie because we've known what the end of this movie is for fucking 30, 40 years now.
True. Like, if you watched the first Star Wars, if you saw the first Star Wars, there is a line in the first Star Wars that tells you pretty much how this one's going to end.
What line do you think that is?
My favorite line is when they're giving them the plans for the Death Star, and they say, a lot of people died to get this information here for you.
That line is actually, many Bothans died for this information. But that information was not about the original Death Star. That's about the second Death Star that they blew up.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah. That's why there are no Bothans in this movie, because this movie isn't about the Bothans that died to get us the Death Star 2 plans.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Also, what was really funny, supposedly about the original Death Star, is that they built the whole facility and then they built the gun. They didn't build the gun and then build the facility around it. But when they started with Death Star 2, they built the gun first and then they built the rest of the ship. Or started to build the rest of the ship. And then what's really funny is one Death Star, they did some kind of a calculation based on information that's been released over time.
Yeah.
That one Death Star is worth monetarily as much as 10,000 Star Destroyers.
What?
They could have built an entire armada of Star Destroyers and been completely and utterly unstoppable. But they did the stupid thing and just built one big fucking weapon. 10,000 Star Destroyers. Imagine if, the United States had 10,000 aircraft carriers.
Where would we even park them at one point is where you start asking questions.
Exactly.
It's like we just go down to Mexico and say, hey, you'll need some of that shoreline, buddy. Photo opportunity. Smile in the camera.
This is no longer the Gulf of Mexico. This is the Gulf of the United States.
Yeah, and we're gonna need some of this parking spots down here. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. No, I really enjoyed the movie. Okay, let me say this. Like when I watched it, I turned back into 8 or 9-year-old Roderick.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little worried about the story, but I kept telling people, even you, I had said this to you before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really overall excited. I really think they're going to do a great thing here.
Yeah.
And everybody said, why? I think, and we had friends, my friend Dylan DeWright, he kind of seemed like he was going to be petty about it. He he enjoyed it too. But I really always thought from the beginning, it's going to be good. I'm kind of scared, but I think it's going to be really good. And I was not disappointed. I wasn't disappointed until you and I had that conversation. And then all of a sudden, I realized 8-year-old Roderick doesn't think about plot holes.
Yeah.
8-year-old Roderick doesn't care. 8-year-old Roderick says, were there special effects? Did I get transported away to another galaxy in a far, far away land? And did I have a good time?
It was fan service masturbation theater.
It was
to
amazing.
the max. And it was great. But let me go.
Now
okay.
let's go to 45-year-old Roderick's idea of the movie, because that's what you sounded like. You turned into the Groucho Man review, and I was like, damn it, I can't even argue anything he just said. It all makes sense. He's right.
Okay, so I don't like Harry Potter. I've never made this like a thing where I didn't ever make it not known that I don't like Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter, but doesn't your girlfriend Jenny, she loves it, right?
She loves it. I've never watched any of the movies. I've never read any of the books. I've never wanted to. Like, my mom loves it. My sister loves it. My girl, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, okay.
So, ostensibly, I know nothing about that canon or what's going on in it, other than, like, the bits that I've absorbed through osmosis for just having contact with the internet.
Right.
So, I went and saw Rogue One. I liked it. Then Jenny came into town. She spent some time here over New Year's, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. We went and saw the prequel movie that the Harry Potter
the Fantastic
franchise.
Beasts film. Yeah.
So after I watched that movie, I realized how much of a piece of shit Rogue One was. Because if I was in the same boat...
Oh, my God.
For that movie that I was in for the Fantastic Beasts movie... I would have been pissed at the end of the movie because I had no idea what the fuck was going on in that film.
Okay, so you're getting ahead of yourself. What was wrong with Fantastic Beasts, first of all? What was your thing?
I had no idea what any of the characters were doing or why they were doing it or how they were able to do it. It doesn't explain how the magic system works or if there even is a magic system. It's mostly just overblown special effects and people using magic like willy-nilly, but yet there's supposed to be like this separation between church and state of people who are magic users and people who aren't, and like it doesn't explain there's some kind of, I guess, a ministry of magic or some shit like that in the United States that polices these types of things, and then there's a bad guy. Like, I can't really give you a plot synopsis other than like two guys swap cases and one guy's case has magical things in it and they get out and he tries to go and get them, and then for some reason there's some other guy who's trying to find this kid who has a thing in him that's bad that makes things get wrecked, and then at the end Johnny Depp shows up out of nowhere.
You did not like this film.
No, it's not that I didn't like the film. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I had no frame of reference because there's nothing in the film
to explain any
that gives me a frame of reference as to what the fuck is going on.
And this is where you killed me, because you told me this about it. And I kind of want to see Fantastic Beasts because okay, you're right. This is one of the things. When I watch a movie, there's two people that go to the movie. One guy is sitting in the chair, but two people are in that seat. Mm-hmm. There's 45-year-old Roderick who's going to logically look through this plot and pick it the fuck apart.
Yeah.
And then there's 8-year-old Roderick who's not going to care. I'm going to drink an icy, eat buttery popcorn, and be fat, happy, and amazed and dazed and confused.
Yeah.
Those two people sit in that chair. 8-year-old Roderick's probably going to love that film. 45-year-old Roderick's going to pick that shit apart, and it's not going to be in his top 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because 45-year-old Roderick can tell you, I loved it. And then he'll go, but, and then that's when I start saying, this was there, this was there, this. And so then when you said that about Fantastic Beasts, I was like, okay. You said, and then I realized something. If I had never watched a Star Wars film, I had never seen a Star Wars film. I know nothing about the Star Wars universe. And this is my first Star Wars film. I'm coming in at Rogue One.
And this is supposed to be a Star Wars story. This is supposed to be a standalone. This is all you ever watched of Star Wars, this movie would make sense. And plot-wise, it's a very simple story. A group of people have to go to a place to get a thing to blow up another thing.
Right.
Okay. So within that, you would assume that they would explain who the rebels are, who the Empire is, why the Empire is bad. That they would have interesting characters that they would try to use to suck you into this world to get you enticed enough to want to go and watch the rest of them. No one in Rogue One has any kind of character development. And most of the time, they just seem to be going from one plot point to another because that's what they need to do to advance the story. So, like, Rey has no character arc. She's a kid, her dad gets killed, she gets raised by a rebel, but we never see her get raised by that rebel, so we don't understand why she's so mad at him at all. And then she gets the plans, or she finds out that there's plans that she could use to destroy the Death Star, and so she goes to go get those plans, and then she goes to go get her dad, then she leaves from there, and she goes to go get the plans, and she leaves from there, or, well, leaves from there, I guess, quote unquote.
Yeah.
She manages to get the plans out, but there's no point at which she starts out in prison and she's not a part of the rebellion, and the rebellion kidnaps her and brings her in, but she has no turn of heart saying, okay, I want to work with the rebels to destroy everything. She's just like, they're forcing her to do it, because if they don't force her to do it, she's not going to do it, because she has no motivation to do it, because she has no connection to the rebels. Because ostensibly, I believe she's pissed off at the rebels because her surrogate father, like, left her on a planet.
Was one of the rebels.
He
was more of a radical of the rebels.
Like, I mean, her character never grows. Her character never changes. Her character, like, even the fights that they get into. Like, if you watch the original Star Wars trilogy, like, say when they go to free Princess Leia. Like, in the midst, they free Princess Leia. She comes out. A bunch of stormtroopers show up. They start shooting at each other. They get in a big firefight. They start having this banter back and forth. They're building a relationship while they're trying to escape together.
Right.
You care about these characters, and you don't want them to die. In Rogue One, they get into a fight in the middle of the city, her and the guy that she's with. They never say a word to each other. The fight scenes are well choreographed and they're pretty to look at, but there's no substance there. There's no
it's just
dialogue.
a fight scene to be a badass fight scene.
Yeah, and then there's another badass fight scene with the blind guy. I can't even remember what his name is, because that's the other thing. I don't remember any of the names of any of the characters in this fucking movie.
It's kind of weird. The only character who I remember was the giant robot.
K2SO?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Yeah, that's because he's pretty much the only person in the whole fucking thing that has any kind of personality whatsoever.
He was the most amazing character I have ever seen in a Star Wars movie in a long time. Like, you knew K2SO's name before you left.
Yeah.
You were in love with that character.
And I mean, even K2SO doesn't have a character arc. He's just there to be snarky and to be...
He was the Sheldon of robots.
Yeah.
He was snarky. He was kind of hateful.
But again, his character doesn't have an arc. Like, it doesn't... He's the same at the beginning of the movie as he is when he gets shot to death at the end.
He sacrifices. He actually, I would make a case, he grew more than anybody. He's willing to sacrifice himself to make sure they're protected to finish this mission.
Like, none of the character... There's no character development. And this is the same thing that's in Fantastic Beasts. There's no character development at all.
You know, we're probably pissing off every Star Wars fan that loved this movie.
Okay.
They can
be pissed.
They're going to be pissed.
I'm not saying
I dare you, if you
that
think
I didn't
we're
like the
lying
film.
or if you think we're wrong, you know how to contact us. We are on Twitter. You hit our email if you think we're wrong. But here's where Brandon fucked me up. He told me this, and I was just sitting here going, I can't even argue this one with you. Usually, we have a really good A-B relationship. You and I are the Siskel and Ebert on video games, okay? Yeah. There's a lot of times where we just don't see eye to eye, and we still get along perfectly. We just don't see eye to eye, and that works for us.
Yeah.
And that really gives us we're never biased against anything.
Yeah.
We just have our opinions, and that's all they are. This one time, you swung the vote. Because I saw the movie, and then I sat there, and And 45-year-old Roderick had to look at that and go,
So
Damn it,
they
he's
take
right.
us. They take us to Jeddah, the planet of the Jedi,
yeah,
where the mine for the crystals that they use to create lightsabers is at.
right.
They say specifically that they are mining these kyber crystals because they're what they're using to power the Death Star. And then they mention that they're used to power Jedi's lightsabers, but they never explain any of that. They never explain Jedi lightsabers. They never explain what a Jedi is. They never explain what the Force is. None of this is explained because the people who made it were making a fan service film and not a film that was accessible to the majority of people that they would want to bring in to make long-term Star Wars fans out of. So they give us no explanation as to all of these things that they're laying out as to what they are or why they're there or how they're needed. Like, also, if they blew up Jeddah and Jeddah was the only source of those kyber crystals, did they just happen to magically mine enough kyber crystals for 2 Death Stars and had enough in reserve that was not on the Death Star when it blew up that they could make another one?
Great question. It didn't. What? Okay, let me explain this. Where the hell did they get the kyber crystals for the new lightsabers that Kylo Ren makes? Because obviously you found kyber crystals somewhere to make them, to continue making them.
He found, supposedly from what I think went on with that, is that he found his grandfather's lightsaber
And modifies it.
and it was broken. Because his lightsaber falls at the end of the movie into the pig pit, where he throws the fucking Emperor into the pit.
Mm-hmm.
His lightsaber fell off there. So if he found that lightsaber at some point and disassembled it and tried to reassemble it, that's why it hisses and spits, because it's made with kyber crystals that are broken. I don't know. I'm probably completely wrong, and there's some fucking fat nerd out there that's screaming and raging about what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, man, but I mean, that's true. Here's my thing. You brought up a damn good point. As a standalone movie, it fails as a film. It not as a film.
As a part of a series that's coming out to do fan service to people who have already watched the series of movies.
Amazing.
It's an amazing film.
But if I would never seen this film, I'm going to be lost. I have no idea. And here's my thing. I'm not saying there's 2 people that are going to see that. There are those who are going to go, I'm so fascinated by this, I must now collect everything and understand it. But most people, I'm saying, are going to watch this and they're going to be like, I have nothing here that's going to make me want to go find out why these little nuances don't make sense.
And what's really funny is, like, the things that people, I think, would be most pissed about if they were going to be pissed about anything in this film, if they've already seen the other films, is like CGI Tarka and CGI Leia at the end. And like both of the, like, CGI Tarka was jarring, but I got used to it.
It was amazing.
It looked so fake. And it looked so fake not because it looked bad. It looked so fake because they're right there at the fucking bottom of the uncanny valley.
No, dude, that line is gone. You can fucking erase that line in the uncanny valley where we can't tell the real from the fake. The fact that they're already talking about giving this guy an award post-mortem for a character that he didn't even play. I mean, basically, they had an actor that filled in, and then they digitized him over that actor.
Yeah, they had an actor that came in that sounded like him, that had a general same facial structure and body structure, and then they layered CG on top of that to create Tarka, which was good. Like, they could have done the bitch thing, which was that scene where you first see Tarka where he's got his back to the camera. They could have just not had him turn around at all. And up until that point in the film, when you see him, you're thinking that that's what they're going to do. They're just going to go, okay, this is Tarka. We're going to hear a voice that's going to be somewhat Tarka, but that's it. He's not going to turn around. And then he turns around and you're like, what the fuck? That guy died a long time ago in real life.
Yeah, Grand Moff Tarkin. That was him.
Tarkin.
Yeah, dude. When he comes out, I was just like, my jaw hits the ground. Like, when I see it, I'm just like, I know he's dead. Like, my mind knows that the actor that played him, and I can't think of his name. I know, in fact, we can look it up real quick. But I know he passed away in real life. But I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, we have come this far. And I told my brother something, because my brother saw it too. And when we were talking about it, I said, you know what? I said, maybe I'm wrong to say this, but we're at the point now in life where the technology, I can actually put somebody at the scene of a crime that they were never at.
So here's the fun thing about this film. Rogue One was originally brainstormed and written by the guy who's one of the heads at ILM, who also happens to be one of the original creators of Photoshop.
Okay, so first of all, ILM, and for those that
Industrial
don't
Light
know,
and Magic.
Industrial Light and Magic. Yeah. Okay.
So right there, the reason why they were able to do it was because the guy who was the head of ILM was basically like, I can do this shit. Like,
Yeah.
we've gotten to the point where this is possible. This is the time to make this movie right now. And he had a good enough pitch that they took it and went with it. But they did do a shitload of reshoots. There's enough from what they've said on the cutting room floor that they could have had like 3 or 4 different alternate cuts of this whole film could have been different.
Wow, that is crazy. I got to figure out who that guy's name was, man, because Grand Moff Tarkin blows me away. It's God, you know, we're going to do it while we're on the show. You guys wait with us.
I'm looking for it right now, actually.
I know it was Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing, yeah.
That was it. And I told my brother, and when I said that to him, the whole thing about they could put you at the scene of a crime that you were never at, my brother just stopped. He paused for a second. He went, "What?" I went, "Just think about it. This guy's in a movie. He's been dead for years."
That's exactly what they did in The Running Man. I don't remember if you...
Yeah, you know.
Donald Schwarzenegger. They framed him for a crime he didn't commit,
never
and they
committed.
fucking put him in the Running Man thing and made him fight Sub-Zero, that big fat opera guy with the
Yeah.
lights all over him. Fucking amazing.
And I told him, I said, they can do it. The technology's there. We could say that I killed the president and I was never in Washington, D.C., but there's the video of me doing it, and people believe whatever they see. We just watched them put an actor in a movie who's been dead.
Yeah.
Now, let's go this a step further.
They actually did get his estate
To agree to
approve it. Yeah, if you watch the credits,
Mm-hmm.
all the credits, there's actually a big thank you to the estate of Peter Cushing.
That's awesome. No, let's go a step further. Remember in
looks
Captain
like-
America?
They're gonna have to do this shit again though because Leia's dead, and
Oh yeah,
apparently
no, we're getting to that. Captain
was-
America. Remember where we watched Civil War and we see young Robert Downey having
Yeah.
a conversation with his parents?
Yeah.
And that was real young Robert Downey. That was not an actor that looked like Robert Downey. That was a digitized version of the Robert Downey we knew from Less Than Zero.
Yeah.
And then we see young Princess Leia at the very end of this. I mean, you know,
And
spoilers.
there's also the digital aging that they did for Agent Carter in the Captain America movie in the second one.
Yeah, so we know the technology's there to do some really fucky shit.
Well, that's the thing is we knew that technology existed a long time ago because there was a point in time where when they were talking about doing the like prequel stuff for X-Men that they were talking about having Magneto, the actor that played Magneto, play himself as a younger version of himself to play Magneto before they decided to just cast another actor.
Right.
And that was, 2012, 2011, something like that.
And so now, I do think we have questions because Leia does figure pretty prominently into.
She was supposed to be in 8 and 9, and all of her principal photography for 8 happened already. So, and she was supposed to be a big part of the story in episode 9 from what they've just released or started talking about today, which means they're going to have to do a rewrite of the entire episode 9, and they're going to have to write in a death scene for her. I mean, are they going to go to the nth of like bringing that lady in that did the stand-in for her at the end of Rogue One to come in and do the death scene for her? Or are they just going to say that
we
like
got questions?
Or is it just going to be an off-screen like her ship got attacked and destroyed or
We
something
saw the
like
ship
that?
blow up in the distance. We never see her die. We got questions.
Are we going to see like the back of her like run into a ship and it take off and then just get hit by something and blow up and then that's the end of Leia?
No.
By the way, 2016 can go fuck itself for that one. Cuz like I was like okay, she had a heart attack, she's in stable condition. Okay, just so long as 2016 doesn't get her, I'll be fine. Next day, fucking what's his name? Shawn Michaels, or no,
George Michael.
George Michael died. And I'm like, all right, that's a good trade. I'll trade George Michael. Just keep fucking Princess Leia alive for a little bit longer.
Fuck you.
And then,
because
boom!
You don't take away Careless Whispers for me, bitch. Okay? You took 2016. Like, here's the thing, and I know, here's what's fucked up about this. And I'm going to say this, and if you hear this show and you're one of the people, you can go kindly fuck yourself with sharp instruments. I don't care. But the thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are dying that were from my generation, the things that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Now, and I, people are like, all of a sudden on Facebook, the Too Cool for School kids are like, oh, why are you so concerned about the death of these celebrities? You don't even know them. Fuck you. I grew up with them. And just because I actually seem to be passionate about the geeky things that I'm into and connected with those people who got me through some pretty dark periods in my childhood, doesn't give you the fucking condescending right to look down on anyone who fucking really was affected by Carrie Fisher's death. You are a piece of fucking shit for being that judgmental. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. No, I'm not. Fuck you, Steele. Okay, so now I'm off my soapbox. And so I thought that was shitty. I really did. I thought it was a shitty death. There were a lot of deaths in 2016 that affected me differently. One, mostly because I'm 45.
Yeah.
And now the deaths are starting to get closer to my age. The people that are dying are now. I'm starting to realize I'm closer to these people's ages than I want to admit. George Michael was still like only 9 years older than me.
Yeah. And Carrie Fisher was just 60.
Yeah. I'm 45. We're not far. We would have kicked it at the same lunchroom table. I'm just saying. We're kind of having some concerns about these deaths now because these are people who influenced my childhood. They were very much an intricate part of it. So when she goes and George Michael and Prince, yeah, that does affect me. And while they may not be family members and they may not be my grandmother, I will tell you this much. I've probably spent more time with them than family members. Yeah. Okay? And so, fuck you, you condescending cockbags. This show just got its rating today. I'm pretty sure. Are we gonna just be this in 2017? Or are we just gonna be grouchy over film and games? Okay.
Works for me.
This is who we are in 2017. We're trying to help slow down all this rampant download.
Never shied away from being an angry fuck.
Yeah, never. I'm never going to. But it kind of pissed me off with that. I did enjoy. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I super duper had a great time with Rogue One. I could not have asked for a better film. But it did leave me, like after you and I had that conversation, like I was seriously at home on the bed having to question my life and what I had watched. I was like, damn it, why did he have to make me think and care about stuff? Shit.
I really wish that they would have thought about these things before they did what they did with the film. That's all. Like, I loved the fucking film. It was great. I had an amazing time watching it. It was funny. There was plenty of action. I really liked the things that they did with it. I just think that there's so much they could have done better to make it an actual standalone movie, to make it that introduction to the Star Wars universe for this generation of kids, that it was not.
Yeah. What was his name? Baze Malbus.
Who?
Baze Malbus. That was Forrest Whitaker's character.
No.
What was he?
No. Forrest Whitaker was Baze Malbus was this guy.
The Asian guy.
Yeah.
So Asian guy was Baze. He was the one with the guns, though, right?
Yeah, he was the one with the really big gun.
Yeah, he wrecked shop. He was the one that was always with the blind guy.
Yeah.
I liked him. I did like his character. But man, K2SO stole the freaking show. And if you hadn't watched it, I'm sorry. I mean, by now, do we have to even start putting spoiler alerts on our shows before we do shows?
Yeah.
We just have to start announcing. If you listen to this show, there's going to probably be a spoiler. Every show we do is a spoiler or multiple spoilers. But here's our thing.
Only way
you knew how this shit was going to end if you'd been a Star Wars fan for a while.
I mean, if you were a Star Wars fan, you knew how this movie was going to end because you know that this movie is the prequel to Star Wars: A New Hope, which means that they're going to go steal the plans to the Death Star. Like, the whole movie is already told to you in that sentence. And then when you go watch it, like, I was surprised that they killed everybody. And I really like the fact that they did actually kill everybody, because that means that this movie actually had stakes. Like, if you go and watch, episodes 4, 5, and 6, there are no stakes because nobody in those movies is going to die. that's of consequence to the overarching story. In episode 7, spoilers if you haven't fucking seen it, when Han Solo gets that nice lightsaber shoved through his chest and he dies, that was a good moment because there were stakes at that point.
No, shit's real. Shit, no, when he dies, you go, shit just got real.
Yeah, then
Shit
when
just
fucking,
got really real.
When fucking Chewie, I think Chewie actually missed that shot on purpose. I think Chewie could have killed him, but he didn't.
Yeah,
because I mean that's the thing.
He
It's
watched him grow up.
He watched him grow up. He's known that child since the day he was born. He could have killed him if he wanted to, and he probably should have fucking killed him.
Here's my thing: if you're still alive, you're alive because Chewie let you be alive. You're not alive because you deserve to be alive. He let you live. He didn't kill you.
Also, the lady that they had playing Mon Mothma, choice, man. I could not tell the difference between the real Mon Mothma from the 70s and this Mon Mothma in this movie. And they didn't even have to do anything to her face. She just literally is a fucking carbon copy of that actress.
That's awesome, man. I threw that one into my mix. I also went and saw... I threw 2 other films into my holiday mix while I was out. They definitely weren't the geeky kind of films that you would expect. I went and watched Office Christmas Party. I'm going to tell you right now, this is my new Christmas classic.
Oh no.
This movie, Office Christmas Party,
Really?
is my new Christmas classic. When it comes to Blu-ray, I am buying it, and next Christmas, I am watching this movie multiple times. With Elf, Krampus, Christmas Story, Office Christmas Party deserves. It is the raunchiest, funniest, most raucous time I've had in a long time. It was the funny that Sausage Party wishes it was.
I tried watching Sausage Party the other day. I couldn't make it through like the first 10 minutes of that movie.
It was the funny movie that Sausage Party wishes it was. Office Christmas Party actually had laugh out loud hilarious moments. And one of my buddies asked me, name a film that if I watched it, I would love this film. I said, did you see Horrible Bosses? He said, yes. I said, did you like Horrible Bosses? The first one. He went, yes. You're going to love Office Christmas Party. Yeah. Because you do have Bateman. You do have, I can't even think of her name right now. Pretty blonde, escapes me. Friends, was married to Brad Pitt.
I don't know. I didn't watch Friends.
Why can we not remember any of these people's names, man?
Well, for this one specifically, I never watched Friends, and I don't keep up with which celebrities are married to whom.
I know, and here's the thing. I should know this because I have 5 girls. Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, so she's in it. Jason Bateman's in it. Olivia Munn's in it. T.J. Miller, Courtney B. Vance. Then, half of Saturday Night Live shows up. You're going to get the Vanessa Bayer, Kate McKinnon. Man, it was just like on and on and on and on and on. Randall Park, the Asian guy that was from Fresh Off the Boat. He plays the dad on the ABC comedy Fresh Off the Boat is in it. I'm telling you right now, all-star comedy cast. I had a great time. Rob Corddry is in it.
So you have a really hard time with comedy movies?
Yeah.
Because they always just come off as hacky and just like not.
This
not
is
funny.
one of those movies where I knew there was going to be a wild Christmas party, but the reasons and the way it plays out, didn't see it. And I'm a stand-up comedian, so I'm really hard on comedies.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a guy who watches comedies and doesn't laugh out loud. Like I'm sitting there analyzing the comedy like, well, that's a great joke. That was written really well. Like I'm that guy. So I'm really hard to make laugh. I fucking had a blast with this movie. And the fact when I came out and I told my family, I really did laugh. Like my stomach kind of hurt a little because I probably laughed a few times too hard. That was a great film for me. A lot of fun to go see.
You know what we watched? Me and Jenny watched it while she was here over the course of a few days. Louis, it's on Hulu. Horace and Pete. Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Horace and Pete. Have you watched it?
I have not.
It's so good. It's not a comedy. It's not a it's a tragedy. But you gotta watch it. It's so fucking good.
I will tell you what I did watch also this Christmas.
Yeah.
Definitely not a comedy. Definitely going to get Joel Egerton some Oscar love and a nod maybe. I want to watch that movie Loving, which is about the 1956 couple that interracial couple, white man, black woman. He got married in South Carolina. were arrested for it and were told they had to leave the state if they ever came back to the state again together, that they would be arrested and go to prison. And it's their story of how they took their case all the way to the Supreme Court, and how it got to the Supreme Court, and how they overturned the law and made basically interracial marriages legal throughout the country. Amazing story, amazing cast, supercharged emotional film. My buddy Tommy, from the Chainsaw 8 crew.
Yeah.
He was one that told me about the trailer.
Same one that got us all sick.
Yeah, he's the one he is actually the outbreak monkey in our whole crew. He was the monkey that led to this whole contagion thing. He told me about that trailer for the film and how they were watching it, and his wife started crying on the trailer. And he's like, "Man, dude, this film's gonna be powerful." And then, me, I'm like, "Well, crap, my wife's white, and she's probably gonna want to see this film.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just send the trailer to her and see what she says." I send the trailer to her. She bawls during the trailer. I'm like, "Damn it, we're gonna have to see this film now." I know we're gonna have to see this film. There's no way around it. I should not have sent her the trailer. So during the Christmas holiday, I had a granddaughter. In fact, out of the Christmas holiday, I got 2 more grandkids. I got a new granddaughter and another grandson, bringing my grandchildren total to 7 now. I'm 45 and I have 7 grandkids, which I have a grandchild for every kid I have. I'm like, no, I'm too young to be a grandfather of 7. And I sent messages out to all my kids and told them next Christmas, Grandpa would like it if you would all keep your legs and uteruses closed. That's what Grandpa wants for Christmas. No more grandbabies.
And you get your tubes tied, and you get
your tubes tied, and you get a tube tied. We're all getting tubes tied.
Everybody's getting vasectomies.
Yeah.
I want it on both sides.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I don't want there to be a possibility of more kids.
Yeah, dude. My kids, I was like, do you guys not know what cable is? There's so many good shows on TV. Quit fucking. Just like, and to the 3 kids who haven't given me grandchildren, God bless you. You're the future. Okay. But the other ones are just like, they're going crazy. And so I did get new grandkids, but we went and watched, Kim and I were kicking it on vacation, and we went and watched Loving. Bro, I'm telling you right now, I'm starting my Oscar run. Mm-hmm. So, I'm sneaking into the movies, and I'm watching, I plan to see La La Land with, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. I'm going to go see 20th Century Woman with Annette Bening. I'm starting to kind of get all my ducks in a row to watch. Okay, these are all my big movies that I have to see that are going to be up for the Oscar nominations and the Golden Globes. I got to start watching them now. So I'm trying to knock those out. And it's good. This is a good time of year to do that, because then it keeps all the bullshit movies out of the way. Because we know later this year, when the superhero movies start, I'm not going to be worth a shit. It's going to be superhero movies all day long, and I'm not going to watch anything of substance.
Oh, those have plenty of substance, though.
Yeah, the substance that I like. Did you follow the comic book? Did you were these fan service masturbation fests? Those are the things that 9-year-old Roderick shows up and he shuts down all reason. So I'm looking toward that, man. But I'm really, I had a blast, man. I mean, it was a lot of good movies that came out this holiday season, but it was just like, as far as geek films, let's face it, Rogue One led the batch. I mean, it was my batch. I did make a list. I can tell you my favorite movie of 2016, but I want to save it for our next show. You
know how they could have fixed Rogue One in one fell swoop?
What's that?
They should have done a fucking crawl at the beginning.
A what?
If they'd have done the crawl, the crawl at the very beginning of all the Star Wars movies that tells you what's going on. If they'd have just done a crawl, they could have explained the Empire. They could have explained the Jedi. They could have explained all the stuff and set up that movie with a crawl. And that would have fixed every single fucking problem that I had with just the fact that there's nothing that gives you any sort of insight into what's actually going on ahead of time.
Wait a minute, you're telling me they didn't do that?
There was no crawl. It says Rogue One, and it goes right into the fucking movie. It goes right into the scene of the Empire coming and landing in the field and them getting out and walking. Like, that's another thing. Why the fuck did they land 3,000 yards away from the guy's house and then walk all the way the fuck over to it?
Yeah, I didn't understand that whole thing. Maybe I thought that was a little bit dramatic.
There should have been a scene before that sort of did some introduction of the family and shown that he loves his kids and that kind of thing. And then there should have been the knock on the door, and it's the fucking Empire. And because they basically lifted that whole scene from Inglourious Bastards.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever once thought maybe, if you really think about it, the Empire was the good guys? Do you ever think of that?
Empire did nothing wrong?
You ever think about that?
There's an entire subreddit that's called Empire Did Nothing Wrong.
I know. Here's the thing. There's a book about it. Like, if you read the book, one of my buddies got it for Christmas, about, pretty much it's the Empire guidebook. And what it was, like, it was written as a actual field manual for, like, I am just now joining the Empire. I'm a soldier in the Empire. And here's what I need to know about the Empire that I'm serving under. And it's really an interesting book. But if you read it, the whole idea was that they were there to quell the lawlessness and recklessness of the universe and to bring in order and prosperity for all. That's what they said. That's in the book. They were trying to bring order and prosperity.
Empire did nothing wrong. And if they'd have spent their money wisely and bought those 10,000 fucking Star Destroyers instead of building one Death Star and then building another one after it, they would have actually been able to accomplish their mission.
See, this is kind of... I'm not going to get into the political aspects of it, but there's a lot of similarities between our political parties and the Empire.
Also, the thing that doesn't make any sense about Episode 7, if you go and watch it, is why is the Resistance called the Resistance? They shouldn't be called the Resistance. They should just be called the fucking Army.
Yeah, why are they the Resistance?
Why are they? What are they resisting?
The Empire.
They're resisting against the remnants of the Empire.
You're the new rebel army.
I mean, they're just the army. They work for the
the standing government. You are the government. You're not the Resistance. You're now the army.
Yeah, you're not resisting anything.
We're not rebels. We're just the army.
But they wanted an R word that sounded like rebels, so they chose Resistance.
Now we're just picking all the films apart.
When you have a general, Leia is a general in the Resistance, when realistically she's just a general in the army. I don't know. It's nitpicky bullshit, but it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's fucking Star Wars. Half of it doesn't make any sense. Why are there fucking Ewoks? Oh, I know why they're Ewoks. Because they didn't have enough money to make that entire planet full of fucking 7-foot tall Chewbacca's. Because that's originally what they were supposed to be. I don't know if you know that.
What?
The Ewoks were actually supposed to be Wookiees. Endor was supposed to be Chewbacca's home planet. But, George Lucas had just finished, what the fuck is that movie? The movie with, fucking, god damn it, I'm just useless with names.
You're killing me today, Smalls.
I don't know. My brain is mush. Basically, all of the people who played all of the Ewoks in that movie,
right?
George Lucas had them on hand because he just assembled them to do the other film that he was working on at the time.
Okay.
Which was the
Time
one.
Bandits?
No, not Time Bandits. That's somebody else. It had Val Kilmer in it. Mad Mardigan. Hold on.
Bro, you talk to me about films that I have no idea about. Where do you get this information is what I want to know. Now I have questions.
From Willow. That's the movie I'm thinking of. George Lucas had assembled the whole cast. It's either he assembled the whole cast to play the Ewoks, and then he reused them in Willow, or he'd assembled them for Willow, and he had them on hand, so he used them for the Ewoks. I can't remember which. But that's one of those things that happened. So I think it was a lot easier for him to find that many small people versus trying to find that many tall people. Because it's easier to find like 30 people who are, under 3 feet tall than it is to find 30 people who are over 7 feet tall.
Yeah, if I want to find a bunch of kids that are under 3 feet tall, I'll just go into a kindergarten. I'll get a bunch of 5th graders. I could do that. And just say, act ridiculous and make no sense. And that's Ewoks right there. Every 5th grade classroom is the planet of Endor. Trust me.
And the teacher is Chewbacca.
Yeah, and she's just like, I need a drink. That's all she's saying.
Maybe that's all he ever says is just, I need a drink.
Yeah.
That's what he screams all the time, and people are talking to him like he understands what they're talking about.
Yeah, dude, no. I know what they're talking to him about. I've been a Chewbacca.
If you think about it, Chewbacca is basically Groot.
He was Groot before there was a Groot.
Yeah. No, because there was a Groot in the 70s.
Who was the Groot in the 70s?
Groot. That character's been around a long time.
But no, he wasn't still, even though he was in the comic book, I'm talking like he was not the big social. Come on, man. He wasn't as big as he is now. Groot. I'm telling you right now, people didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy was until that movie came out, bro.
His first appearance in comics was in 1960. Star Wars didn't come out until the end of the 70s.
78, 77.
So Groot,
I still don't think people knew Groot.
Chewbacca is Groot.
I still don't think people knew who Groot was, though. Groot wasn't as near as popular.
Well,
Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't near as popular.
I don't know. He's been around for a long time.
He really has. He really has. Man. So, then I think we ripped Rogue One apart. We got into some movies. Let me ask you this. Quick question before we get out of here tonight.
Yep.
Show your most movie or TV show you're most excited to see in 2017?
I'm gonna have to go with Defenders, but before that, Iron Fist.
Okay, so you're more excited about what's coming to Netflix.
Yeah.
Those are damn good picks. I think I'm going to still have to say Justice League. I'm really kind of anxious to. Here's my thing. They fucked this up. I'm done. My brother is tapped out. He's done. He said DC films don't get any first week reviews from me. They don't deserve to be first weekend movies anymore. I've given them chance after chance after chance. And the only time they don't screw it up is if it says Batman and Christopher Nolan's involved. And that's how he feels. And I get it. I totally get it.
That's because it's the fucking truth.
But I'm at the point now where I'm actually hoping Justice League is not a piece of shit. Because I enjoyed Suicide Squad. I enjoyed it. So therefore, since I enjoyed Suicide Squad, I hope I enjoyed Justice League. I hope they took notes and do this right. I hope they took notes and do this right.
They're still making movies by committee and doing the Hollywood style of like throw a whole bunch of things at a wall and then whatever sticks, we kind of just push that together into one movie. And then the problem with DC is they keep hiring visionary directors, and then the visionary director will make a visionary film, and then the committee will go back in after they're done and just reshape it entirely into what they want it to be. When what they really should be doing is hiring a director who will do whatever they want and then just doing that thing, which is what Marvel does. Marvel will hire a director who will do exactly what Kevin Feige wants them to do, and then they will do that thing, and it is successful because Kevin Feige knows what the fuck he's doing.
Mm-hmm. What about the Wolverine movie? You think it's going to be good, Logan?
I hold no hopes.
Wow, really?
I've seen too many bad X-Men movies come out of fucking Fox.
Here's what we'll do. Let's save this. When we do our 2016 year in review, I'm going to bring this question back up.
You mean 2017?
No, we're going to do our 2016. You know, we got to still recap last year, but I'm going to ask you again what you're looking forward most to in 2017. I'm going to ask all of our guests that. Save it. Okay. I want you to put some thought into this one.
Stupid
Because you're about to rip Logan, I feel like, and that's a whole nother show.
Well, that's the thing is I don't want to... I want it to be good. I don't want it to be bad, but I don't have any fucking high hope. I'm in the same boat as your friend. Like, I don't want... I'm not going to go see it opening day.
I'm not seeing it
opening other people go and see it opening day and they come back and they're like, it was amazing, it was breathtaking, it was the best fucking Wolverine movie I've ever seen, then maybe I'll go see it in a couple days. But I'm not going to run out and go watch it.
Well, you do know I watched X-Men, and when did I watch it? I told you, I was at the Dollar Movie.
Yeah.
I watched it at this summer at the Dollar Movie. What was the Apocalypse? I seriously, and I remember us thinking, this was the first time I didn't go see it at a theater.
Of Ivan Ooze, are you going to go watch the Power Rangers movie?
Yeah.
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 Bryan Cranston?
Bro,
I don't even understand how the fuck they got him to do that movie. He must have just been like, you know what? Fuck it. Just give me the money. I don't care.
Bro, I have a question about
I feel like
Hollywood.
That's so far below him. That's not even funny.
Let us think about this. Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar, okay? Mm-hmm. This guy did Men of Honor and then did Jerry Maguire, okay? This is people forget this. Cuba Gooding Jr. is a Oscar-winning actor.
Yeah, he also did Lightning Jack.
And he did fucking Snow Dogs. After winning the Oscar. How do you go from Men of Honor, Jerry Maguire, Snow motherfucking Dogs? So I know at some point in Hollywood, you just look and say, well, this house ain't going to pay itself. I'm just going to take this shitty movie, bro. But I look at Bryan Cranston and I go, you could do whatever you wanted. You have a permanent pass as an amazing actor. Because we thought you were crazy on Malcolm in the Middle. But you made us concerned for our very lives on Breaking Bad. And now you're in the Power Rangers movie.
as fucking Zordon, the big fat floating head in the fucking
Look,
the bat cave of the fucking Power Rangers.
I'm sorry, man. At some point in life, you just got to quit questioning stuff and just go, okay. He's got to pay his taxes.
So I wonder if the Flash is going to make an appearance in Power Rangers as the Red Ranger.
This is why I hate you. You tried to troll me while microphone's on. I'm not even fucking with you anymore. We're getting out of here tonight. Guys, we are just, once again, before we get out of here, we just want to thank you guys so much. The love and support. 2017 is going to be an amazing year. We are going to be revamping this show. We're still going to be doing news stories, but we're going to be doing a lot more interviews. We got some pretty badass guests lined up for 2017, and we're going to be bringing people in that are going to be giving us some different perspective on the video game industry. And we're still working on trying to take this on the road and do some live shows. But yeah, once again, just when we're looking at all these downloads for two chuckleheads in the basement that weren't even in the studio for a month, to have that many downloads for the month of December, humbling, very humbling. Thank you to everyone that listens to the show. Thank you for supporting us. I honestly mean this when I say it. No cheesiness in this at all. I honestly appreciate you and love you all. Thank you so much for that. And, man, I got to get out of here. You got anything planned this weekend?
Sleep.
That sounds so good.
Sleep and my parents are coming up. My sister and her husband and my their child.
I think that's a nephew. Or niece.
Dude, I don't.
You're the worst uncle ever. They have a kid. I'm somehow related to that kid. I don't know what you call him, but he's a kid. Do you know the kid's name?
Yes.
The worst uncle ever.
Wait, what? Oh, no,
Dude,
no.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Just kidding. His name is William. He's awesome.
Oh, my God. I was about to say, he hears this show one day, and you get him. The next message in our Team Live email is, fuck you, Uncle Brandon. I will be like, damn. Little William, we're sorry, bro. You're fodder for next week. Okay.
Yeah, but they're coming up on Sunday. I think my mom might be coming up too. I'm not sure, but
cool,
yeah.
Man.
Other than that, just work and sleep and hopefully getting my car back.
All right, yeah, we'll be discussing that. I know about the car, but yeah, we got to get these shows rolling. We're just glad to be back in the studio and get some kind of normal back into our lives, man. You guys take care. Peace. Thanks for listening to the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page at GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages at Coach Silky and at Bizide. You can direct questions and comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.